Centennial. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Post-Thanksgiving Slapsticks Podcast. We are joined by co-host Nick Walk and recurring special guest, Tribal Chief Teddy Dallis. Teddy, welcome back.
Well, John, look, we had a great first one. I did such a good job, they invited me twice. And it feels good to be back because finally I have been invited back to Ian's podcast. And if you're going to do it, got to do it the right way. Acknowledge me.
God, I hope he cuts this part out, but I know he won't. All right. So, as I'm sure all you Blues fans are well aware, since our last episode, the Blues went in and played the New York Islanders, and they fall 3-1. Not a terrible game from Bennington. Late that night, Doug Big Dick Armstrong made the move to fire head coach Drew Bannister and hire Jim Montgomery. Teddy, your thoughts on this before we get into the two games he's coached so far?
Look, a change had to be made. You got to change stuff over time. Like, you're a baby, you got to change your diapers. Same thing here. You got to change. And look, Bannister, he did a good job when he was here during his year, but I don't think it's going to fit long term. And look, we brought in Jim Montgomery. He's had a good track record, all right? I think Bruins fans even still want him, and we're glad to have him, all right? Like, glad to have Nick on this podcast. Wish I could say the same for you, John, but we're glad to have him.
I appreciate it, Tribal Ted.
Thank you.
So, as mentioned, the Blues hired Jim Montgomery. They let go of Drew Bannister. I thought Drew Bannister did good on the defensive side of things. The Blues were not able to generate many offensive chances. Doug Armstrong did mention this was purely a move made because of the caliber of head coach that was available in Jim Montgomery. He, of course, has ties to the city. He played for the Blues, I believe, in the late 80s. Also, his wife is from St. Louis, so she probably made him sign that 5-year deal. I don't think he had a choice. That being said, getting into the two games that he has coached for the Blues so far, while we've seen that defensive structure be maintained through both games, we've seen a lot more offense from Jim Montgomery's St. Louis Blues. Teddy, could you speak more to that?
The offense. Look, you have to score goals in order to win. Even the best defense, you can't win 0-0. You can win 1-0. You can win 5-2. But you can't win scoring 0 goals, all right? Unless it's me playing John in NHL, then I always win, no matter what. Look, we have looked very good, and I think we are going to look good going forward still. Look, we play the Flyers at home tomorrow, and look, that could be a blowout game. First game at home as the head coach for the Blues. I expect great things from this team.
Teddy, what do you think the limit is? Obviously, getting a little bit of a late head start as head coach. The Blues record is not horrible. We're still kind of mixed for that wild card spot. Do you think this change alone could propel us towards fighting for a playoff spot, or at least playing meaningful hockey in the month of March and April?
Look, the same thing happened to Berube, and we all know what happened then. So, the same results, maybe not different teams than what we had 5 years ago. But look, so far we are seeing great outcomes from this coaching change from at least 2 games. And like I said, I think we're going to have some great things going forward. I think we will be competitive down the stretch, but how far that will take us, we will see.
Yep. So getting into the 2 games that Jim Montgomery has coached thus far, the Blues go into New York to play the Rangers at Madison Square Garden. They come out with a 5-2 victory. The second time this season that the Blues put up more than 4 goals, not including an empty netter. The Rangers were coming off a Western Canada road trip that saw them give up 40 shots in 3 straight games. They come home and give up 40 to the Blues as well. Teddy, do you think that this game, particularly against the Rangers, was the Blues playing well or the Rangers playing poorly?
Look, even good teams have bad nights, but I still think the Rangers, I think they're a good team. I think they're fighting in that Eastern Conference for a potential Stanley Cup appearance. Look, they have a full roster, And, it might have been an off night, but the Blues, they came in with Montgomery's first game, and they absolutely dominated. Look, every team in this league has the ability to compete. We've seen it, upset the first seed before in the playoffs. And look, I think the Blues, they are a sneakily good team, and they just went into New York and they just beat them.
I agree. To get more into the actual changes that Jim Montgomery made, of course, he had not had a practice with the St. Louis Blues squad prior to the game against the Rangers. However, he goes in and makes some changes, particularly to the offensive lines. The only line I believe he kept together from Bannister was the what the fuck line of Walker, Toropchenko, and Faksa. We see Bolduc move up into more of a top six role, where he was kind of buried third and sometimes fourth line at the end of games under Bannister. And in that first game, could be a chance thing, but I'll jump ahead and say he's looked great in both games. The young Zachary Bolduc, who picked up 2 goals and I believe had 7 shots on 10 shot attempts in that game against the Rangers. Teddy, do you think not only obviously was this a positive change for a player like Bolduc, but do you think this is a Jim Montgomery type of player? And do you think we could see more players such as Dvorsky and Lindstein and these kids coming up benefit from an offensive coaching style like Jim Montgomery has?
It could be.
Okay. I question on a little far, so that's okay.
In other words, he doesn't know.
Right. Well, I guess none of us know. Yeah. But yes, Bolduc had great the Rangers. He had a great game as well against the Devils. I don't believe he picked up a point in New Jersey. Moving on to that game, though, Bennington picks up the shutout. He wins 3-0 to become the Blues' all-time winningest goaltender with 152 wins. I think that 3-0 score is iconic in a way because in his first NHL start, of course, he had a 3-0 shutout against the Philadelphia Flyers. So kind of, of course, 9 seconds into that game. Yeah, that might be not for the fastest goal ever scored, but it might be a record for the fastest game-winning goal ever scored in the NHL. Teddy, what did you think about that game against the Devils? And I'll ask the same as I did with the Rangers. Do you think that was the Blues playing well or the Devils playing poorly?
Look, the Blues, they are playing very well. Very well. They say that they might be marching in. Look, we just went into New York, destroyed them. We just went into New Jersey, destroyed them too. And look, we're at home, but we're about to play Philadelphia, and we're going to destroy them as well. Look, we were playing very well. You know what they say, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. But we started very well that game. Put up 3 goals against them like they were chickens, just something that you're wearing on top of your head. Maybe even describe you two as well, John.
It's a turkey, not a chicken, but okay.
Okay, well, I ate you.
I will say, while the
you
came
ate
out
John
with an
last night? Hold up,
Let me be perfectly clear right here. I ate that turkey last night. That's on John's head.
Okay.
I ate it. I ate potatoes, egg rolls, casserole, and it was a damn good turkey.
Let me just pull up a message that Teddy sent me before we played Xbox last night. He said, what time like to play? I said 8:30, and he said, okay, I just got home. Stuffed fuck, but not from the food, with the smirking emoji. Teddy, could you speak more to that?
Look, I was stuffed.
We're not allowed to do that.
Look, turkey, it's relative. It could be food, it could be not. I was stuffed with that turkey.
Moving back to the St. Louis Blues, while they did come out with an impressive victory against the Devils, only 20 shots on goal, and I will mention that they had 1 shot in the second period. I believe, went almost 25 minutes without a shot on goal between the second and third period. Teddy, do you think that was the Devils shutting us down, or do you think that was us sitting back on the 3-goal lead, trying to kind of just play defensive hockey, the Devils to the outside?
Look, I think it was a little bit of both. We put up 3 against them, and I think the alarm bells were ringing in the Devils, behind that bench in the locker room. They're like, what is going on here? And they are also a very good team with the high-powered offense and shots. So they definitely brought it to the Blues, and I think it was a little bit more than the Blues could handle, but nothing that Jordan Bennington couldn't handle. The best goalie and doesn't care. I don't care what his record, his goals against are. He is that guy. Like I am that guy. You're that guy, John. Nick might be that guy. I am that guy. Jordan Bennington is that guy.
I don't need to be that guy, but whatever helps you sleep at night, Teddy. I will also say, while the Devils are a very good team, I believe they currently sit in second or third in the overall league standings. We have seen them shit the bed on a few occasions this year. Also, the Blues, I believe, had 2 goals before the Devils even had a shot. So very, very good on both the and defensive side from the St. Louis Blues. Getting into the upcoming games, I believe before our next podcast, which will be the first week of December, we will play at home against the Flyers and in Winnipeg. Teddy, Winnipeg obviously having a fantastic year. Should the Blues come home and lose to Philadelphia, what does that kind of portray in your mind? Do you think that things could start to unravel with this new coach quickly, or do you think it could just be a sign of some growing pains and some structure that need to be built?
Look, you can't win every game. I would like them to win every game, but you won't win every game. Even the Warriors couldn't win every game. And
73-9, yep.
Yeah. But hey, look, it's all about consistency. Once you lose 1, you win 2. That's what we need to see.
Okay.
So yeah, if we lose tomorrow, that's hurt. But what's going to hurt is if we lose the game after that. You
embark on a Western Canada road trip similar to the one the Rangers were just on. They'll play in Winnipeg, Calgary, Edmonton, and Vancouver before coming home for one game to play the San Jose Sharks. Teddy, what would be a successful road trip in your mind? Not thinking about the game at home tomorrow. If they were to go 2-2 on this road trip, would you be satisfied with that, given the tough opponents we have? Kind of, I guess, just with some growing pains. Even though he looks very good, I would imagine you get a few practices under your belt. You're trying to implement some new systems. I feel like the team's playing very free offensively right now, and they look good, but there's not a ton of structure there. So do you think 2-2 would be acceptable on this upcoming road trip?
Yeah, I think if we went 2-2, be good. If we went 4-0, even if we went 0-4. Now look, the key to that is we need to play good hockey. Look, if we lose close games, but we look very competitive, then I think that is a win, because look, people were marking us out before the season started about even making the playoffs. So if we don't make it, their expectations are fulfilled. But we need to play good hockey down the stretch. So when we do bring up those younger players, they're brought in to a, good culture, hopefully winning then. But we need to play good hockey during this road trip and beyond if we want to be looked at as a fierce team.
Would have to agree with you. The Blues currently, after 24 games played, have a record of 11-12-1. They were 2-0 under Jim Montgomery, and they sit 2 points out of the second wild card spot with 23 points. Teddy, the Blues' playoff chances, I would still say, are slim, but we've seen Jim Montgomery's coaching record. Still crazy. He got let go by I believe he went 170, 48, and 20 or something. Should the Blues still miss playoffs this year, I think that having Montgomery for 4 more after that is going to be huge, especially for the young guys coming up. I think he's the players' coach, and obviously he's worked with a lot of the team before, a lot of which will not be here by the end of his tenure. But I think establishing a winning culture and kind of giving these young guys, they come up into the ranks, I think goes a long way. And I'm not expecting us to make the playoffs this year, but I think if Montgomery can come in and go a little bit better than 500 with this hockey team, I think that's a promising sign of things to come. Why are you wearing glasses inside, Teddy? Jesus Christ. All right, that's all.
I keep forgetting to tell you, you got to switch it so it shows all 3 of us at the same time, I don't know if
do that.
Because Ian's been wanting to tell you, because you know how he just did. It doesn't show that.
Well, I think it will, because on my screen he was large.
Oh, he was?
Yeah.
Hopefully it showed it. Maybe it made it. Because it goes by sound.
Oh, wait, view.
I keep forgetting to tell you. I just remembered.
Oh, no, you're fine. Gallery? Oh, my God.
I think you got to probably do it off, though.
Well, we'll make sure this is the format for next episode. Also, Since the last episode we filmed, the Blues Winter Classic jerseys were revealed. They are a remake of the 1966 prototype jersey, and I think they look very nice. They're very simple, not as fancy as Chicago's, but they look very good. Teddy, do you like the 2024/25 Winter Classic jersey?
Yeah, we do.
All right. Nick, do you have any closing comments? Do you have anything you want to say about any other sports, or is there anything you want to say about putting?
No.
All right.
No.
Actually, before we
go ahead.
cut a message for putting,
Okay.
I'm coming for you at WrestleMania, and you will acknowledge me.
That's going to be it for this episode, folks. I hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving, and we will see you next week.
Okay.